Welcome to the 20 Podcast, bringing you interviews with the best DJs, producers, and music industry professionals from around the globe. I'm your host, DJ Spider.
DJ Spider!
Oh my God, thank you, John. Thank you, appreciate it. This podcast is brought to you by Beatsource. Beatsource is the new digital music service for open format DJs. Jump onto Beatsource.com if you want a free 60-day trial. Use our code, the20, it's THE20, and you get free 60 days. You can try it out. You can DJ off of the cloud using Beatsource Link. You can use our curated playlist by our amazing DJs and music curators of all different genres, and there's so much more. So use that code. Let me know what you think. Hit me if you got any questions. Find me on Instagram at DJ Spider, DJ SPIDER. Send me, who you want on the show, what you think, what's going on. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you, the beat sorcerers, all the supporters, everyone out there. I appreciate it. Please rate and review us on the Apple Podcast app and help us grow up the charts and keep doing this show. And you guys, I gotta let you know about our amazing guest of the day. We are up here. We're in the studio. We're in Beatsource Studios official, and we've got someone who, compared to some of the other guests, may be relatively young because a lot of open format DJs we have on will be in the older area sometimes, and we get some younger people. But this person's relatively young, but that doesn't matter because the amount of experience that he has from the open format DJ world to the music production world to being his own artist, and so much more that you will hear about in this episode. I think you'll hear he really knows what's up, and he's put in the work that needs to be done to genuinely know how to DJ off vinyl and be an open format DJ, but also find his path within being a music producer and being an artist himself and producing for other amazing people. So you're going to hear these great stories on the episode coming up. He recently released an EP called Open the Novador, and after you hear who it is, that will make a lot of sense to you. Definitely check out that artwork. It'll be a little shock to your eyeballs, and I think you'll enjoy it. The album or the EP really shows his diverse production styles and influences, from feel-good French house type of music to indie rock to Latin influenced songs. It's all over the place, and it's just the beginning for him. We talk about his remix EP coming out and a lot of other stuff after that. But I think this episode we get to know him, his influences, his everything up until that point, and also his visual parts. So he has 4 different music videos that all connect to become like a movie. So you'll check all this stuff out after the episode. He tells us about creating and selling samples, which is another thing that he does that blows my mind. I've checked it out before this episode, and the stuff he was playing us after is incredible. Talks to us about DJing with Lil Dicky in the past, being his tour DJ, producing for all types of people, including NBA YoungBoy and that song going all over the place. And then we talk about our history because I've known this guy for a really long time, and I'm super excited to have him on the show. So please welcome Novador. We're here. It's the 20 Podcast. We got Novador. Give it up. Let's hear it.
Boom. Yes, let's go.
Wow. People are cheering from the street. Oh, my God.
I'll see you later, honey.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
See you later.
We're across the street from one of the greatest Jewish delis.
Oh, Factors. Love it.
You know, when the meaner the waitresses are, the better the food is. That applies to dim sum and Jewish delis. Yeah. I don't know why. Chinese food and Jewish delis, if you get a really mean, server person, you're gonna have really good food.
Exactly.
Hey, would you like those over easy? I don't care. All right.
And there's ash in your food. You love it. It's good.
Exactly. All right, we got the Jewish connection off the bat, and we both love dim sum. So
let's go.
Good start to the podcast. So you guys, we've got Novodor in the house. I am super excited to have him on the podcast for many reasons. First of all, I've known him since he was a wee child.
Wee little baby.
Pinch his cheeks right here. He's always had a better beard than me, even the day I met him when he was probably 15 years old. But still, I've known him since he was young. And so to see his growth and journey has been amazing. I always knew he was talented, and you would come basically be like an intern at my studio and help
wouldn't even
out.
let me in the studio sometimes. It'd be like in the hallway, just like waiting for you to just like do anything, like peek your head. I'll be like, yep, yeah, are you ready? Whatever you need.
So funny. So yes, so thank you for that. And so from there, like, I've just seen you, develop into this dope producer where I genuinely love the music that you make. And
thank you.
Not because I know you or I'm being nice. Like, if I didn't know you, I would seek out your stuff and download it and play it. And it's funky, it's dope. It speaks to me on many levels because, like, I love all types of music and dance music and DJing, and I feel like you are good at incorporating all of the stuff that you love too, which is a lot of similar stuff to me, into your sound.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited to have you here.
Me too.
And you are releasing your project now is Novador. That's your name.
Yes, my last name.
You've had other projects in the past. Bee's Knees was a past project that I also loved. It was a partnership that you had with somebody. But right now you're putting out Novodor. And I guess let's talk about that, and then let's go back in time and talk about all that. But what's happening with the Novodor project?
Well, first, my mom says hello. And
hello to your mom.
Yeah.
I love your family.
They love you too. I just released this EP, Open the Novodor, technically on the 17th of November, or the 12th, I think it was, or 17th. Forget the day already. But it was honestly like a really fun experience making it, because kind of all stemmed from me, like when I quit being an artist to then wanting to be an artist again and finding this journey of what style and genres I like, and really diving more into, I would say, the more up-tempo house stuff. But obviously, like, this EP really, like, I felt like kept true to my roots. Yeah. Like you were saying, and the styles that I'm into. But that's like kind of the small jib of it. But
and when you say you quit being an artist, you mean from Bee's Knees? Yeah. You sort of took time off, went more into the shadows of being a producer for other people, right?
Yeah, honestly, the reason why I stopped the artist project was because within the span of like 2 months at that time, I had like broken up with my girlfriend of like a few years. My managers I had worked with for a few years, like we split, and then I was with CAA and they dropped me, and like all this stuff happened, and I was just like, what do I want to do? Because I loved being a SoundCloud artist, but I definitely, it went more than that, but quote unquote SoundCloud artist. And I just was like, I want to make music. I realized how much I loved writing and producing. So then I just decided to stop putting so much pressure on that lifestyle and just focus on writing and producing. And it turned out that it kind of works out. So it's great, but it's fun. I don't know.
What was some of the stuff you worked on during that time that you want, if you want to talk
about?
No,
it's totally fine. The first like placements I ever got that really like made me believe like, wow, this is what I could do for a living and like do this consistently. Within the first month of me like actually putting my effort in, mind you, I'd already been making music for 7, 8 years, or 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it was at that point. So like I'd already had my skill, but
and how old are you now?
I'm 26.
Okay.
Yeah. So I decided to end up like, I don't know. We had gotten some opportunities, me and my roommate, Nico the Kid, who I collaborate with a lot.
Such a great producer.
Really
great
is.
guy, great person, but I love his music. It's
great.
So good.
And he influenced me to just like kind of like really push myself into that space. And within the first month, I had written a song for Odessa and then produced a song for NBA Youngboy. And like,
wow, all over the board.
Literally in the first month, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. I could totally do this, And so
how did you get, like, when you made those songs, did you make it specifically for those people in mind, or were you just making packs of beats and ideas?
To avoid a longer story than it needs to be, both things were a little bit different. Sorry, there was a siren going on. But
we're in the city.
Yeah, city. But there was so I got hit up to write with another artist, Naomi Wild, and she's a good friend of mine, and I was working with her at the time, and she just hit me up and asked, like, hey, do you want to write some songs to some beats that I had? And so she sent some beats over, and it was for a totally different artist, the Odessa song, and it ended up getting in Odessa's hands within like 2 weeks of us writing it, and then another like month or few weeks, whatever it was, we were in the studio with Odessa.
Wow.
And then the NBA Youngboy thing happened to just be in a beat pack for Fast and Furious 7 at that time. I don't freaking know, but it just ended up getting its way to Kevin Gates, and then after Kevin Gates got put in jail for kicking a woman on stage, I get a call like,
is that what happened?
Yes, that's actually what happened.
Wow.
And then I get a call like, NBA Youngboy is gonna record to this song, and now it's not gonna be for Fast and Furious. It's like its own thing. And I was just like, I was like, who the heck is NBA Youngboy? Like at the time, it was his first mixtape, AI Youngboy.
Oh, wow.
And so, I was a little annoyed from a artist that had maybe gets a few million streams versus Kevin Gates at the time, who gets 40 or 50 no matter what happens,
Yeah.
million. So I was like kind of hesitant, or reluctant rather. And that song actually did really well on, video games, films. It was in UFC 3, the Hate You Give movie. It was like a soundtrack for the NFL for a whole year for Sunday football. It was,
Wow.
it's just like,
what song is it?
It's called Left Hand, Right Hand.
Crazy.
Yeah.
He's turned out to be one of the top streamed artists in the world, right?
Yeah, like ever. Like
it's crazy because he doesn't have the radio hits. He doesn't. He's like really one of the biggest artists because of YouTube, I think, right? Isn't that?
Yeah, most streamed artist on YouTube. Yeah, he's literally number 3 most streamed artist last year, according to Rolling Stone, I think, or the year before. And like, it's been really cool to watch that happen. But honestly, I was upset when it first happened. I was like, this guy, I don't know. And I feel that way with rap sometimes because like, I love making rap beats, but I just, I don't know. I'm not like in that culture 110%. I am like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm very lucky I can make that music, and I have the friends that I do, and we collaborate, but I'm never gonna probably be in the studio with NBA Youngboy. Like honestly, like I'll just send beats. Like I'm cool like with doing that way personally. But other than that, no, that was literally what happened, how I got into it. And then ever since then, I sessions and the usual of connecting with people and then things happening over time. And that's kind of how it all felt together.
That's dope. That's really cool. And so as far as the Novador project that you're doing now, what did you come? I know you came out with a single and some videos, and the single is Candela, right?
Well, there's Secondhand Love, Candela, and then Favorite, 4-part EP.
Okay, so you did a whole concept for it. And I know the videos, like, you're very calculating, or like very, very well thought out with your stuff, I think,
Thank you.
And so can you explain kind of how you are releasing this? I know you had a method to your madness of it.
Yeah. So I was starting the releases out in July, and I ended up going from like just doing a single every 5 to 6 weeks with the videos dropping, and everything has like a narrative to it.
Right.
I kind of like to do more elaborate things because I think I'm an elaborate individual, and I just like can't do anything without doing the most extra shit. So I was like, to be honest though, this is how it kind of came together. When the pandemic happened and I signed with Ultra, I had a totally different plan. Like I was going to invest a lot of money into live events and shows, and that was like, it just obviously COVID totally ruined my thing. And so then I just took some time to reflect, and then I realized like, I think I should just like really hone in. I've always wanted to do the visual thing, but really hone in on the visual aspect more and like invest my own time into it.
Yeah. And
so then the label linked me up with this awesome production company, Yellow, and we collaborated and did the videos together, which was awesome. And it was just a really fun experience because like I didn't realize how much I liked, like I liked like co-directing or co-writing, or I didn't know why I liked that so much, but
Right.
yeah, it just turned out really awesome. Like, and doing the narrative thing was really fun. Coming up with the story and learning, while I do everything is kind of my motto, just learning.
Yeah, exactly. That's the best way to do it. Just jump in and
Mhm.
and figure it out. But with a plan. I mean, you obviously had a plan.
Yeah.
And then you ended up, so Yellow was the production company that helped me do those videos.
Mhm.
We saw many parts of your body in all
Yes.
the videos.
Yeah, you can watch those. You can see my body. I felt like sex sells, and
Oh my God.
obviously the sex sells over here, right?
Yeah,
Am I right?
yeah.
But
But the videos all connect or something, right? Isn't there
Yeah.
some sort of concept with that?
yeah, the music videos, they all have like a narrative of my fortune cookies essentially are making people go wrong, but then it ends up turning out to be a dream. And after the dream happens, I realized that my gardener has been my sidekick the whole time in my dream, and like it's this whole thing. But yeah, shout out my guy KP. He's awesome. Everyone kept asking, is that Sai's uncle? Like, 'cause he's like he's a middle-aged Asian man, and
Sai's
and everyone kept saying that, and we always laughed about getting that joke,
Right.
but he honestly. He was a great acting coach as well. Like he was just super helpful. He's an acting coach, stunt coordinator. He's like a jack of all trades.
Wow.
Like
What an amazing person to have in your video.
yeah, so it was like fun. Like he would show me techniques on like doing small things. I mean, I don't know how technical if I was in the video or not, but
Right.
but
It was pretty believable. I was into it.
no, thank you. Yeah, but no, I really enjoy like the filmmaking process. That's something that I learned, and I'm going to continue to like keep as a staple for Novador. I think
Yeah.
is I got some really good ideas in the works, and
Great.
it should be really fun.
That's so cool. And the songs are so good. Like I love how diverse they are with like the song is like a sample of an original song that I absolutely
Yeah.
love. And then I thought you sampled it and just made it faster and more high pitched, but you actually got it all replayed, right?
Yeah, so there's a few companies that do this, but if you're not too familiar with like sample clearance stuff, sometimes like you have to clear the master recording, like the full recording, and then the publishing, like the songwriting. And a lot of times, like actually one of the other people that worked on the EP does this for a lot of other artists as well, Nick Seeley. But there are these people or companies that take original songs, like doesn't matter what era, and they recreate them,
Right.
and then you can pay them a fee for this, and then essentially there's a new master recording. So
wow.
all you have to do is clear the publishing, and then I'm paying for that master recording, so it's like a lower fee essentially.
Do you give them a piece of the song, or do you pay them a flat fee?
No, it's like a buyout most of the time. Just depending. I mean, some people, depending on the song, the art, I mean, business, they'll have sometimes like crazy deals, but
depends who they're making the deal with, or if they think the song's going to be huge and it's more beneficial. So you say, okay, I love this Bobby Caldwell track. I want to sample it. But that's what it is,
no,
right?
it's DeBarge.
Oh, DeBarge.
Yeah,
Sorry. I always get those two.
No, it's all good.
But so you say, okay.
Everyone thinks Bobby Caldwell's black, so it's fine.
I know. And he's not, people. Spoiler alert. And then, so you say, okay, I want to sample this, but obviously I'm not going to pay for the master rights.
Yeah.
And you find one of those companies, send it to them, see if it's a good enough deal and it's worth it, and you can put in that much money. And then you can do whatever you want with the master recording, speed that up, slow it down. And they can't, in order for you to be able to clear the publishing, it can't be too off from the original, right? Is there something?
Well, actually, no.
Okay.
Like I could have them replay just a vocal, and then I change the musical elements. Like the only things I changed, or I added rather, were the house drums. And mind you, I was trying to treat it like a traditional French house sample. It was like the only reason why I did this was because for an undisclosed amount, Quincy Jones at Universal, there's a guy literally that works at Universal also named Quincy Jones. It's really funny.
What?
Yes, super funny. But reaching out to him, who does I guess some of the clearances or whatever, he just quoted me a way too expensive price. And that's the issue is sometimes like with a big song like that, when you're trying to clear it, like they have all these other, what would be the word? Like things that would be attached to it.
Yeah.
So like, oh, you can only use the rights and have this portion of sales for this many years because they have control of the master recording.
Right.
So that's why you really go do this. So Ultra doesn't have to deal with, or any other label rather, doesn't have to deal with those issues.
Right.
So, but yeah, super, it worked out in the end because like the Replay Heaven is who I did it with, and they really are like probably the top people in the industry.
Sounds so good. I could not tell until you told me.
Yeah.
Now when I hear it, I'm like, okay, it's a little different.
Yeah, you can hear it in the vocal a little bit.
But only because I'm like scrutinizing it and you told me. I never would have known.
When I heard it, honestly, because I could play you the solo parts one day, like what they sent me, their stems. Yeah. I mean, like some of it's pretty accurate. I was like, dang,
that's dope.
It's pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I love that song. Very soulful, funky, feel good house song or dance song. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's like I just say French house. Like it's French
it has
house.
That French house funky feeling. And then your song Favorite is more of like an indie dance. Are you singing on it?
Yeah, I'm singing on it.
So you did the vocals, production.
The middle bit, it goes like, take your pleasures, make them real. That is one of the writers I worked with, Mick Coogan, on that part, just because he sounded so good. And like, honestly, I exported the way that he did the vocals. Yeah. I do not remember how I processed them because the people I worked with on that song, Nikki Blitz and Mick Coogan, like, we were just having such a fun day. Like I was just doing like, I don't even know how that, like the bass line was just like us messing around and then chopping up another bass line. Like it was like
I love it. It's like so simple and funky and dope.
It's super fun. No, that was probably like,
and it's cool to hear an up-tempo track that's not house. I feel like everybody tries to just go, okay, it's this tempo, it's house. Yeah. Like it's like, no, it could be like a indie rock dance song.
Exactly. I mean, I just felt like this EP is really my moment of like, hey, this is all my influences. This is like part of like me as like my intro to the world.
Yeah.
I would say that the like songs like Favorite, I'm not going to be necessarily putting out consistently. It's more of like, yo, this song, like these things were super close to my heart and what started Novador. So I felt like it was appropriate to like start the project that way. Was like with this also just that's my roots, like you're saying like indie dance. Like, I mean, especially when I was like interning for you and, watching you prepare for your DJ sets and me doing my open format stuff at that time, like that stuff really shaped my musical, my just like everything, like from the music I make to what I love to listen to the samples, like I felt like how we would connect on old music and other stuff. So I don't know. I just feel like it's super reminiscent of that.
It
era.
is. Yeah.
I love LCD Sound System. So, or it was a mashup. The idea in my head was, how do I get a song like Dare by the Gorillaz and LCD Sound System?
It's
and
like
that's
that.
like that.
It is like that. Yeah. And it fits in with that and it's cool for a DJ to play.
Yeah.
What are the other two videos that you did?
So Secondhand Love comes after Like, and it goes from like me being in my lair, like cooking up my fortune cookies to then us like kind of driving around again. And Secondhand Love, like people are just starting to chase me because I pour fortune cookie dust like into my gas tank and like it's just spraying out of my car and everybody is like getting hypnotized and following me. And then they strip me naked essentially into my wonderful orange outfit. You can check what that is if you feel so inclined. And then I jump in the pool and the spell is kind of broken. But then for Candela, I wake up. I don't know how I wake up, but then I wake up to Carmelina asking me to wake up because I have my dance class and I go and lead a dance class and I actually learned like full on like routines and practice. And I've never been so sore. Like the next day of filming Candela, because like I shot all the videos out of time, like out of place. So like Candela was the first video we shot. So I just totally never felt so sore in my life. Like shout out Penny Wild, best choreographer, and hired all the dancers and sourced everything for that. And she was awesome. And you know, I just had such a blast filming that. That was like, that day was so fucking fun. It was just so fun. And like, I don't know, just like the fact that I've never, since that was the first day, right? Like I've never had, as an artist, like I've shot music videos before, but I've never been like the only artist. And that was super cool to see that, like I had these visions and I did them with other people. It's not just me, but having a vision and just it coming to life. And like that day I had all these dancers, they all had been rehearsing, like we were all dressed up. It was just super cool. Like I felt like, wow, like this is awesome. Like I can't believe I convinced all these people to be here with me. Like I'm a fucking idiot. And
but all stemming from your music. And that song's dope too, because it has a Latin sample or influence. Actually, or what is that?
Nick Seeley, who makes samples, one of those guys that makes samples for other people. He's worked with Kanye, tons of other awesome artists recreating ideas. But him and I collaborate a lot, and he sends me like he'll make like a full-on song in a different genre from a different era and write it. And like it'll be an original tune, but it'll sound like it could be a sample or something. Okay. So I went through our folders. I was just making music one day, and then I heard Candela. Like it was actually at 160 BPM, really fast. And it's actually a guy singing it, but I pitched it up and now it sounds like a girl.
Well, you pitched it up and slowed it down.
Yeah. And and I chopped it up. So like the phrasing was a little different, but, and then I changed the horn lines up. So they were like, I just rearranged it and then added my things, bass line, all that. Crazy. And that's how it came together. And everybody thinks it's like a sample.
Yeah, I thought it was a sample.
I mean, I guess it is, but.
Well, I thought it was a sample from an older track that you would have had to clear, not that your friend made. Or
no. And then it was awesome collaborate. I love collaborating with Nick. He's just like one of the best musicians I've ever worked with, and it's just super easy to work with and always down, and he's super generous with his samples, which I feel like sometimes sample makers or even myself, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, like do I really want to let this person use this, And I mean, he doesn't care. I'm sure he cares, which is great. But
I know what you mean though. Yeah, he's not uptight about it or feel like he has to hang on to it.
No, it was awesome. And honestly, like again, before this podcast started, we were talking about my background with the guy who's doing the video here, and Again, I felt like this EP was just hitting to my roots, and I grew up around a lot of the Latin community, and it's just like was awesome.
You got a crazy mix going on of your upbringing, right?
Yeah,
and like your heritage and everything. So what's your? I guess talk about that.
Both
the early days.
Well, just like being a kid of divorced parents and growing up in Los Angeles. I how do I explain it? Like your family will always move in different and unique ways. And my dad ended up, marrying my stepmom, who is half Mexican and / native and Creole. And, growing up in the San Gabriel Valley, as well as the San Fernando Valley and in the city, like totally different worlds. I mean, I was the token Jew, and that was crazy because I grew up in the valley in the city where it's like you've never been to a bar mitzvah, like you're Jewish or like you don't have Jewish friends, that's how it felt. So it was funny because so I got immersed in a lot of different cultures and people, being around my stepmom and her family and friends and her church, and then I would also
and probably hearing a lot of different kinds of music then.
Yeah, I would go to gospel hall on Sundays and be at temple on Saturdays, and because my parents would want to see me, and all those things. So that was really interesting for me, and seeing how and I was at a gospel hall that didn't have a band or anything. It was all singing in hymns. So I really got that energy from, I would just say from that community, and then obviously my Jewish background and everything. But it's just really interesting. I feel like I was really lucky to grow up in such diverse communities, but also everything was very faith and religion based growing up. So I think that tells, where my values stand. And I was really lucky to grow up with good good parents and
Yeah.
good people and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, everyone's pretty musical like around
Yeah,
me.
where do some of your biggest musical influences come from as far as your family side?
So originally, like my parents were always into music. My dad worked in the film business, but always had like music friends and
Yeah.
stuff. So my mom and my dad were always playing music around me, and I was always gravitating towards it, but wasn't really until my mom met my stepdad, and then my stepdad has been a musician like since he's been, a young teen, maybe even before that. And he's a dentist now, but won the original Battle of the Bands, and we have a huge trophy. He did that at the Hollywood Bowl when he was a teenager, like the year before the Carpenters or something like that. Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
And
amazing.
then watching him, be a wedding singer, band, like doing that. And then my older brother Miles was an open format DJ doing bar mitzvahs and weddings and parties, and I kind of just followed suit doing that, like always DJing, like just being with him, watching him DJ, and then
Right.
that's what.
And he's an amazing DJ, music person. He
Mhm.
actually was the first guest on this podcast.
Hey, what's up? Shout out Miles
If you
Beer.
guys go to number 1, you will hear
Yeah.
you will hear how bad of an interviewer I was at that point.
But yeah, it was like Miles. Miles really like influenced me to kind of like just throw myself into that, because
Yeah.
I would always roadie for my stepdad. I would roadie for Miles. I mean, one day you'll see me post really embarrassing photos of when I used to be a dancer for Miles. Like I used to like go
Yes.
dance. Like it's really bad. I'll show you after this. I have the photos saved, but
You show me and Pennywise.
yeah, right. But yeah, I just always was enthralled with like starting the party. So I was
Yeah.
an MC, DJ. I would do 2-year-old birthdays, 80th birthdays, bar mitzvahs, weddings.
So you've been in the open format DJ game, and I mean, I know when we met, I was like, this kid knows about vinyl and DJing and open format DJing. Like, how does he know? You know,
Yeah.
I remember that. So
YouTube.
So yeah, where did that come from?
Watching
Like,
you and your friends on YouTube when I was like between the ages of 13 to 17, non-creepily, I swear that's what I did.
That's
Every night
crazy.
before I went to bed. I would
Wow.
watch A-Track and watch his hands while he's scratching, watch AM. I've seen every video online of AM easily. Like I've
Amazing.
seen it. And then, getting to intern for you and Miles introducing me to you, and like then being around Steve and Ryan
Steve
and
Wonder. Yeah, Mr. Best.
and like just being even as is and like local people
Yeah.
like that, where it's like I just realized like, oh wow, like this is so awesome. The one thing I felt like that made me feel different was like I felt like more attracted to the music making aspect of it, and I love DJing
Yeah.
and scratching and turntablism.
Right.
I don't know. I just honestly, I just remember me and you talking about what is happening now when I was 16 and 15
Yeah.
years old, like how this stuff was going. And I was like, shoot, like maybe I need to think about that more, because like I was already starting to mess around with production and stuff, but not take it as seriously as I do now,
Yeah.
where like now I'm a producer and songwriter, and
I know, isn't that crazy? I probably should have taken my own advice a bit then, but it was changing back then into the
Yeah.
producer getting booked. You had to have music to put out, remixes, all that. And now it's way different.
I remember you telling me about like how you were friends with Dylan Francis at that time, and that like made me just like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like I was like in high school, like
Yeah.
going to Coachella and like just seeing this stuff. And the parts though that made me think like, oh wow, I still want to DJ and I always want to do this was my first Coachella, I got to see Craze and Clever do their set together. And
Okay.
now actually it's awesome. Like Clever's a friend of mine, and like we became friends like via just bumping into each other at coffee shops in LA.
Wow. I haven't seen him for a minute. We lived in the same area. I've been friends with Clever for a long time,
Yeah.
but then we kind of lost track, and I saw him at a restaurant or something
Yeah.
like a year ago. But
Yeah.
Is he still in LA?
I don't know. He's like between Atlanta and LA,
Okay.
I think, and which is awesome because now I'm super in the Atlanta house scene and
Right.
like, friends with that. But just to like kind of wrap up the last thought, I don't know. I just like saw that I could do more with what I was doing at that time, because like I wasn't as far as ahead as you were, or my brother, even in the open format world. And to be honest, like, I remember you guys would all throw me the $200, $300, $400 gigs at Pearls and at like these opening slots at, or like have my residency at Shore Bar, and that was fun and that was awesome. Also, sorry, Adam Kroll, you thought I was 21 the whole time, and I know you did. Now you don't know that, but you're the man. Thank you. But like. I love doing that, but I got jaded really quickly, and I was like, you know what, I really want to like produce and songwrite, and that stuff just fell into, you know, my lap, like the producing stuff, like it kind of just happened rather than, but yeah.
Well, you're good at it, and you put in a lot of work too, but that's cool to know. I mean, for people to know too that, you know, you have such a strong understanding of the open format world, and you're good at scratching. Like, we've had scratch sessions. Like, you know how to DJ on vinyl. You know what I mean? It's not like you're in your 20s and you're like, I only know the USB. But you do know that, like I DJ'd. You were throwing a monthly house party or a house music party called Fortune Cookie, right?
Yeah, I did that this summer. Yeah,
in the summer, and I got to come play one of them, and it was funny rolling up with my laptop because you guys are all on USB and got your in-ear headphones, and I'm like, back in my day we had a laptop, I need room for this, you know. And those guys that wanted to go on after me, like, we can't B2B with you, bro. Like, you got a laptop, like,
you got a laptop,
come on with that old school shit, you know?
Oh my god. I'm
like, okay, sorry, but it's, you know, you're very comfortable in that world and the house world and B2B with the, you know, USB, and you even helped me out, giving me a bunch of record box, you know, analyzed files and things when I was doing a gig, after, you know, coming back in after the pandemic, you know, was slowing down. So, you know, but also you could go rock a place with vinyl or a pure open format thing, or like you said, you're doing parties for 5-year-olds or 85-year-olds, and you've been through it all, so I think you have a good understanding. And that's an important lesson to people listening, is that, like, maybe one thing looks attractive, or this person's young, or they must have gone right into it, but you still got to go through and try all the things to figure out what you don't like and what you do like. And it's worth doing things that might not seem that attractive at first to realize, oh, wait, I found something I like in this, or I don't like this. Now I can rule it out and throw it in the garbage and just work on music production or whatever.
You know, it's funny, like, literally to that point, so as I was starting my Bee's Knees stuff, and it was just buzzing on SoundCloud and Hype Machine and all that.
Right, Bee's Knees buzzing.
You know, buzzing. Wow, damn it. Damn it. But I ended up getting opportunity to tour DJ for Lil Dicky.
I wanted to ask you about that. So funny. Yeah. I mean, his TV show is incredible, and I've always liked him. But I remember when you were tour DJing for him, I never would have even thought.
Never did.
That,
I did.
That kind of show was gonna happen for him. You know what I mean? Like, even when the show came out, I'm like, what is this gonna be? And then I watched it, I'm like, oh wait, this is the best thing ever.
You know what's funny? It was like that was the first thought I had when I went into that opportunity. But, you know, to the point of seeing something that looks really awesome and then experiencing it and then realizing, like, hey, this isn't really like me personally. Yeah. Well, that's like one of the big life lessons that I had, which was I totally loved working with this team. Gata's such a sweetheart. Dickie's such a sweetheart, or he likes to be called Dave if he's not like being like being Lil Dicky. Right. And then Mike, his manager, you know, like all super nice guys and very hard workers. I felt that way for the first day I met them, but then after that, and touring with him and spending like hours and hours of time, he like literally told me, like, and this was 7 years ago now, you know, like, he goes, I'm gonna have my own TV show. I want to be the first rapper to get an EGOT. Want to do X, Y, and I've seen this guy this was his first tour. I was one of his first tours. Maybe DJ Fresh Direct was his DJ for like 2 shows or something like that. But then I was like the first DJ essentially. Right. Or maybe Fresh Direct, but then me, and then I forget the guy he has now, his name, but
Els.
Yeah. Els.
I met him in Chicago one night.
I'm sure he's coolest guy ever. They only work with nice people. Yeah. So
he was really cool when I met him.
I realized, like, I don't like this. Like, I realized, like, I don't want to work on, like, I didn't have equity in Lil Dicky. That was my thing, was like, Gata has equity in that. Like, he is part of the shtick, you know? Okay. And I just felt like as much as they were super nice and awesome to work with, I just like knew my heart wasn't in it. They could feel that as well. Like I did a Fierce Free shows. I mean, imagine this. I'm 20 years old. I've been DJing like LA clubs, which is great. And I'm underage. I was doing all this stuff. It was fun. And then I get to start going on tour, not only for myself, but then I'm playing shows with Schoolboy Q and Absol and, all these cool rappers with Lil Dicky. I'm traveling the country with them. Like, and I'm just like, I don't want to support DJ. Like, I don't want to, because it wasn't just about the support DJ role. It was like also kind of a combo of that and the open format life where it was like, I don't like service DJing. That was something that I really realized is like Adam doesn't like that. Like I really enjoy playing house music and I enjoy like doing that. And if the money's good, I'll DJ anything because I have the skill to. Yeah. But I just know that like it's not worth my time. Like I don't have fun doing that. Like I have fun scratching with my friends. I have fun playing hip hop. I mean, like Gangstar is the reason why I make music. Shout out DJ Premier. Yeah. But I realized like that's just not me. That wasn't me. Like right. And I can't.
You got to listen to that.
Yeah, and that was a really hard pill to swallow because at that time, like I'm like giving up my DJ gigs. I'm not getting hit up now to DJ at all the hot spots in LA and, undercut all my friends and take their jobs because that's what happens in the open format world, unfortunately. I just didn't want to deal with that. I didn't want to deal with that. I wanted to be like, I make sick beats. I make sick tracks. Everyone listens to them. I get streams on them. Like, that's what made me feel better rather than like, oh, I just rocked this party and like this bottle girl poured alcohol in my mouth. I'm 21 and like I'm so cool, like socialiting, like no shade. I was like, that doesn't make Adam feel good.
Yeah,
so
I get it.
Like I know it's fun because I've done it, and but I'd rather like. Maybe I'm more of an egomaniac, honestly, because I'm like, I just want to DJ my own music. And so maybe that says more about me.
You're a narcissist.
I'm a narcissist, I guess.
You got Little Dicky rubbed off on you. That's crazy he had that vision back then for everything, and he's really manifested it into all this.
Yeah, he's a big influence for me, honestly, for Novador.
He's got a lot of confidence, that guy.
I mean, to be honest, as somebody that I think I radiate a lot of confidence, I am not a confident guy. Like, I am confident, but I'm not. And like that's how I feel like. He taught me that, like, without him saying it, was like, you just have to like believe in your ideas and do them. And when everyone was making fun of him, like he still believed in his ideas. And like, this was before the TV show. He was getting #1s on radio with joke songs, but they're good songs. Like that. I woke up in Chris Brown's body. That's a hilarious song. It's like, crazy. But that was like a huge song. Radio record. And and so it shows you that if you believe in what you do, like, and you do it long enough, I mean, we can go on the list of people you've seen that, for.
It's true.
So, and sometimes you get freaking lucky and you try once and it works. So you never know.
Yeah.
Kind of just give up at that point. Just try. No, I'm kidding. But no.
And that's the end.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. That's a crazy story. Did you tour DJ for anybody else?
Like one-off stuff, like randomly, if like, but
not like that with him.
No, just pretty much like that was when I knew like, oh, I'm definitely not doing this because like I would watch I've again, open format fan here and big DJ fan. I would watch DJ Bonix and like other people who I really admire as selectors. Yeah, but I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy. Like I'm not, like again, like it's just Adam can't. It's not stimulating enough for Adam. Right. I think like I need to, like I said,
I think it's important to listen what you want to do because same, like sometimes I get offered things even to this day and I'm like, oh, I could do that. Should I do I want to do that? Like, it's like, I know I can do that. And there's a lot of things about it that sound cool, but then I'm like, I need to take a step back and go, okay, do you want to do this? Once you're actually doing it, are you going to be happy spending your time on this? Yeah.
And like Tay James, like all these guys are so influential and like Bonix with Wiz and like all this stuff. I just like, I just realized like, yo, this isn't for me. I'm not in this game. Like, I also don't have I didn't have an artist like that I grew with. Like Dicky was already doing his thing before, like he was already like I wasn't his boy,
Right.
or like fitting the mold for his thing. So
Yeah, and how like Bonix has been with Wiz like pretty much the whole time, and same with
what was who I just mentioned? Forget.
Tay James.
Tay James,
Justin Bieber.
Yeah, with Bieber.
Yeah.
And it's like and it's like you even see it with like what A-Track did with Kanye. It was like only a period of time, because like again, that's how I kind of view my experience with Dickie, was like I got to like really support, I think, one of the biggest and best creatives in the world right now, which is I think is Lil Dicky in my opinion.
Yeah.
But same with Kanye and A-Track. Like I totally see like the value there, where it was like I don't know if A-Track was ever really a DJ for another rapper before that.
Right.
And like that guy should have been like every dope rapper's DJ ever, like, you know, and I mean, but clearly
he has his choice of what he wants to do, you know, so that was like a perfect combo at the time.
Yeah. And I don't know, I view that stuff really importantly. So like doing what you want, like, and I've always seen that with you, like again, when I was like 16, I just like, I felt like, and you know, not to gas you up, I just feel like I was working with one of the best open format DJs in the world, and I'm I get to watch that guy. Like I got to help select your music. I got to do, you know, organization in that, and like really learn. And I like through that, I'm like, this is cool, but I don't know if this is like again, like this was Adam, like, and that you got to learn, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that was like same. I've done jobs before, was doing different things or different gigs or different opportunities, and I'm like, this is cool, but yeah, later I'm like, it's not pulling me back into it for some reason.
Yeah, and but I have my skills, I got my chops, and like it gets me in the door, you know, with like other DJs. Like I'm able to talk shop. I mean, shout out Miles, honestly, because he lied to me when I first got Serato. He like forced me to learn how to beat match on CDs and vinyl. But what he didn't tell me was that I did get the right version of Serato, but at the time he told me I got the wrong version. I don't understand what that would have meant. And so I returned it.
Yeah.
And I practiced for like 6 months just mixing records, like when I was like 14. Yeah. And I had like my first Stanton turntable set up, and, you know, the Rain TTM 57, you know, like without the even Serato in it, you know.
Right.
And it was just super funny, but he made me do that, and like I'm super grateful. Like just practice with the control vinyl, the tone, and just practicing my cuts. Ding, 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 ding,
right.
And I would just do that after school every day. Like,
that's so funny.
Yeah,
that's
and
amazing.
Like, so
because when I met you, you already knew how to use vinyl and do everything, and you were really young. So
shout out Miles.
Good. Shout out to Miles. Always shout out to Miles. That's super interesting. And we talked a little bit before about making samples. You said your friend Nick, you know, makes samples, and that. I know that's something that you do too, and I know that's something that's grown over the past, I don't know how long, 10 years or less, into a thing that producers do. Some producers, that's their main thing, even more than making beats, is just making the samples, and then other people take them and turn them into things. That's something you're involved in too, right? Yeah.
I kind of like am lucky that I'm either in with certain crews or people,
right?
And I would say from my electronic music background, I have the ability to have like better sound design capabilities when I'm sending samples. So I tend to do that sometimes when I'm not working with like in the studio with an artist. I'll just send other producers my samples, and I'm more strategic about it, and they send me, like I trade. In my Dropbox, I just have a folder that says other people's samples.
Oh, really?
And it has like hundreds, I'm talking hundreds of loops, like from tons of different producers. And one day I pull one out and I write to it, and then I use it, and then maybe that becomes a cut. And like I use them as like little, like, that was the chair, by the way. That was not me farting. Okay.
Yeah, right.
But no, I just it's like a good currency.
Right.
Like, hey, you need, like, you're working with this artist. I already have some ideas that might start, and like this person might be good with drums. So then I just send them musical parts. Or, hey, I have some sick drums, and the music I did was like, I just think of like samples as parts, and you share it, and you kind of like, everybody gets a piece of the pie. Right. I think that works the best.
And how do you work that out? Let's say somebody samples it. Like, how does that even
It depends.
out?
I would say in rap music, a lot of people tend to have the writers or the rappers really want to take 50% publishing, and then the producers split the other 50% of the publishing.
Okay.
But it depends case by case.
Right.
And usually I'm asking for like a fee and a producer credit, but I'm an even Stevens guy. Not everybody is, but I'm just like, if we all worked on it, besides like if somebody contributed one small thing, if we all pretty much contributed, like I always think of it as like a school project, right? Like everybody, you've had a school project where somebody just kind of did all the work.
Right.
But everyone did contribute to it. Does everyone have to split an A, or does everybody get an A?
Right.
Everybody gets an A. And if you like get nitpicky about that, I feel like that sometimes ruins relationships.
Yeah.
And like gives value in terms of like your social currency with that person. So an example, I have a song right now. I sent it to another producer, a beat I did with another producer, and I sent it to another producer who works with a specific artist, and he got that artist to record and write to it, and the song's gonna be on their album.
Oh, wow.
And my friend didn't do a crazy amount, but he made the placement happen. He put it in front of the artist. He got it in the session, or helped arrange the rest of the track so it fit for the song. To me, that's like producing. Like that's to me is producing. Like I don't think just because somebody touches all the buttons means that they get more credit.
Of
like
course.
you're the sucker for touching all the
whole
buttons.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the sucker that spent more time on it. Like I think the value is like, how do you work with doing the least amount possible? And I don't mean that in like a shady way.
No,
just
I
like
know.
being efficient, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to ruin that relationship with that other producer and be like, well, you didn't do anything and you got me this placement and I'm going to make money from it and you're not. So now you don't get anything.
Right.
Like, no, let's just move on, split it. There'll be music gets made every day. Like who
Every
cares?
day, yeah.
Who cares? Like move on. Like stop being so precious. Like, like that's why I like samples, because I just make it, goes in a folder. If I use it, great. Somebody else will use it.
What are some of the techniques you use to make the samples?
So what you can do, YouTube, and you go and look up like your favorite songs, and you go and look up those producers.
Right.
And then you go and research. Like, for example, did you know the band Change? You know, like they did the song oh my God, they're super famous like post disco funk band from like late 70s, 80s.
I know who they are.
And they have the coolest covers, whatever. But I was watching some video, I think Pensado's Place, about I forget the producer's name right now, who did a lot of Change's music and engineer, but I'll look up their techniques on how they recorded like their pianos. And I just did this with my buddy Leno. We were working on a track for Billy Porter, and we were like, we really want to like get that Change / like ABBA piano, like that really bright thing. So then we watched a tutorial on how they actually did it in the 80s and 70s. And it was like, you need to slam 2 Pultec EQs and do it this way. And the plugin, like I use Universal Audio, and their stuff's pretty true to the real stuff if I don't have gear.
So you can emulate the Pultec.
Yeah, and I can do that trick because like with the Pultec, there's this thing where like I'd say without getting like crazy technical, if you like drive I think like the boosts and it does something where the unit will like get really heated. I don't even remember how it happened, but it just takes the high end and fucking just makes it really bright.
Right.
And clicky and punchy, and that's how they got their piano sound. And then and so like I'll do that and I'll just like look up like how did like what was the vocal chain on, I don't know, like Don't Stop Believin'. Like I don't know, and I'm sure you can find that online. And then you just emulate that. And then you can probably figure it out. I mean, it's honestly like not that hard. Not to say like, not to shit on myself saying producing's hard, but
that's
hard.
interesting.
Like,
I didn't even think about that. That's a cool way
just
to
follow the same practices that they did. Obviously, maybe you don't have a board and the gear wasn't on all day, and there's all these smaller factors like with the I would say just like, I don't know, the boards being warm after being all day on, and all that stuff, all the tubes and stuff. Sorry, but yeah, you can pretty much emulate that stuff, and or I get people to play. Like I'll get a whole band worth of people and track all their stuff and play it live. Like I just resampled. I just remade like Between the Sheets. For like a house record. Like that. I might just sit on my hard drive forever. But I just got the MIDI of how they played the chords, and then I just kind of like did the like drums in Addictive Drummer, like.
Yeah. Oh, same tempo and
I just
everything.
did the same thing. And mind you, it's not like the same, but when I pitch it, like distort it, EQ it, kind of fuck with it,
yeah,
it ends up like it sounds like I just sampled the song, you know? And I just
Right.
look up like the instruments that were used in the song. Like you can find a lot of info online when you dig on it.
That's cool. I didn't think about that. You can look up everything from the EQs to the vocal chains to the instruments or different equipment used.
Yeah, you just find the equipment they use, and most of the time there's some nerdy person online that like
listed it all out.
Did something, or they like did all the. They're like, oh, actually they used this version of this, and you could emulate that also with this, and it's like, cool, thanks. Like
Right.
like. It's pretty awesome, but that's how I go about it. And then I just ask people to play stuff like live, and then I mean,
and then manipulate it and turn it into stuff.
Yeah, and I have the parts. It's pretty easy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And what about getting your music out? I mean, I know you work with Ultra Records. I'm sure that's a big help. Like they linked you with the Yellow production company and different things. And I think I heard you on another podcast talking about these third-party playlisting things or ways to get your music out there. And actually, I didn't know that much about that stuff.
Yeah. So there are like a few kinds of things you can do as an independent artist.
Okay.
And even though I'm not indie, I'm technically signed to an indie dance label because now they're not with Sony anymore and they're independent.
Oh, okay.
But essentially, like, there are tons of user-generated playlists that aren't Spotify like promoted or the Spotify
editorial one or something. Yeah.
And there are great tools. Like my friend runs this company called Playlist Supply, and essentially it's a playlist aggregator where it gets you all their information for who owns which playlist in their emails, and it scrapes like all his data and like.
Oh wow.
Yeah, check it out, everyone.
Because there's other companies like, I forget what they're called, but that make playlists that have pretty large followings, right?
Well, so there's like a couple tricky things. There are servicing companies, like you can pay a few $1,000s and they can, I don't want to say guarantee streams, but they can say like, hey, if you're on our playlist, we can guarantee, because we have the metrics to explain, like, we have this many listeners, whatever.
Yeah.
They can guesstimate how many streams they can guarantee you.
Okay.
But you got to be careful, because a lot of these companies like are kind of like click farm, like, or generated, like they have servers that are just creating fake accounts,
fake things,
fake
and make
streams.
You look bad, and they can catch you.
I know people that do this. Like they do this for like I'm talking like the biggest artists in the world. Like most streams, like mostly every big artist we're seeing online is almost inflated. Like almost everything is somewhat inflated.
Oh, wow.
Whether the label's paying for it,
but then they mix it in with the pumping.
Yeah, because the problem is that you're fighting this algorithm which I think is not really fair to like somebody, like if you're a starting artist, because like if you're not getting an initial jump off social media or whatever, it ends up turning into you just like fighting for attention, and you want to get streams up there to trigger the daily mixes and the release radars and Discover Weeklies and all these algorithmic playlists that eventually get you onto editorials if like you didn't get immediate editorial support for Spotify, and as well as Apple, but and Amazon, all these things. But point is that Spotify, you can see the numbers on there, so most people focus their direction towards Spotify promotion.
Right.
And
I don't know why Apple and the other ones wouldn't just put the numbers.
I think it's smart.
Or do the unwrapped thing, or do all the things that seem to be working for Spotify.
Well, I'll tell you why. As much as like I want to get my support from Apple, I think it's a complete waste of everyone's time posting their rap, because all you're doing is promoting a company that is like, I know this podcast is going on Spotify and everything, but you're stealing our money. And we're promoting a company while they're in court right now saying that they want to lower the rates already that are so low to pay people like me who this is how I eat, live, and breathe is off of producing and writing music.
Right.
Like we're then promoting the like their pages and like we're promoting their service when like they're doing such a disservice. And like, you know, the owner of Spotify, like he's a billionaire, never made a single, there's this meme that goes around. I don't know if it's true, but it's to be said. They're like the owner of Spotify is worth 3 times more than Paul McCartney. Okay. Like that's not okay. Like to me, I don't care. Like he might've created a great service, but like,
right.
But he's using that money now, which is confirmed. He's investing into defense companies. Like, why is my music money being invested into defense companies? Like, and I get anyone can do whatever with their money. I'm like so cool about freedom, but I'm just saying, like,
yeah,
like that doesn't make sense. Like, and then all the labels have stake in all these streaming companies as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people understand, but like, you don't get paid per stream on Spotify. You get paid like pro rata, which is like like the most basic term. And like, I don't want anyone to quote me, but you can look this up online.
Yeah.
The way they pay is off of market share and how much streams, like collectively each company gets to decide how much they divvy up to each artist. So like if you stream Novador, that money isn't going to Novador. That money's going to like the pool of money that gets distributed at the end of every month to every label from Spotify and all that.
Right.
And then they divvy up the money towards their artists and everything. And like, you know,
it's so confusing.
It's super confusing.
But somehow like the Drakes and the Adeles and the really big Taylor Swift big artists will get these big chunks.
Well, they get it because they're the leaders, so they have more market share. So therefore, like if you're on Universal and which Drake is, like, and you're a smaller artist, but Drake had more market share that month of streams, your money's gonna go, like you're getting Drake money, like from that, if that makes sense. Like Drake is paying for everybody, like because he had the more streams for that group. If that makes it's super confusing. I would tell everyone just look up like how it's paid out. But Tidal just changed their policy, and now they're having direct to artist payout. So like if you stream Novodor, then Novodor gets paid. Like that, not it doesn't go into like the system and does this whole pro rata thing. And
I saw they just changed that. I know Beatsource has a good, because you know if you play Beatsource, it pays the artist. You know if DJs spin it, so which is a cool thing for DJs to know. But it's I know they have a good deal too, and everybody has a different thing.
Yeah, and also like this we're kind of going off topic here with like you're asking about the streaming thing, but just
I was more wondering why Apple just wouldn't put the number.
I think
how Spotify does.
I think it's because their viewership is lower.
It's way lower.
It's just way it is,
and they want to just seem like we're a big company. We're having it out there.
Well, yeah, they're not in this game making money off of music. They're pure culture.
Right.
So like
they're almost just having that just to as another thing for have eyeballs and ears on them.
Yeah, and to be honest, like I really respect Apple because, mind you, streaming rates, all these companies are coming for my neck, like technically, and trying to cut my rates even more, which is whatever. But I can say like shout out Robbie Angle who runs the dance music stuff for Apple because he's been a huge supporter of mine. Yeah. But not only that, he's like super in the culture, and that's something I noticed with Apple a lot more.
Me too. They hire people that really care and are in the culture. Everybody I know there did really dope music stuff before they were at Apple.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the people I'm friends with there. So
and you know,
and Spotify, I'm sure too, but I noticed that with the culture thing with Apple. Yeah, you're right.
Like the culture, that's what their main thing is. And I mean, they make so much money that they don't care, you know, if they're losing or winning. I mean, but look what they're doing for DJs right now with Apple Music versus Spotify. Like they're doing exclusive mixes. Like I don't know if you've seen this at all, but in the dance music side, DJs are able to upload mixes now, and they have like their track lists, and it's like all that data gets, you know, so they're paying the artists and or at least the streaming money is, you know, going somewhere. But like it's actually tracked now, and you know,
it's great. I mean, once we, you know, are DJing in the metaverse,
the metaverse, bro.
No, but once like it's only a matter of time. Like as much as we're getting shut down off Instagram lives and Twitch might be taken down, blah blah blah. eventually we're going to have to be able to DJ in the internet legally, for each other, because that's where we're all going to be, so to see things like that, Apple working out that kind of deal, YouTube having those kind of deals, Beatsource making these deals.
Yeah. No, seriously, shout out
Mixcloud making these deals where it's legal, you can see it slowly but surely, the grinding, it's turning into that.
I mean, Beatsource, just like, not to like plug it here, but just as like a consumer, DJ on this end, like the amount of times it's saved me, like when I've had to like go DJ at a pool party or something, and like I don't have that music on my jump drive, and being able to use that cloud and the internet part of it, but then knowing that also that data is tracked is so cool to me. Like I've always loved that. Like I wish, and Rekordbox does do that stuff, but like you have to report it, and like it's like a whole system.
Right.
But like,
I saw Rekordbox has a new cloud playing thing or something.
Yeah.
Looks pretty dope. I don't really understand it totally.
I don't either. I honestly, like, I'm the worst with my Rekordbox. I literally am like, I just chuck my song in there. I mean, I think though this is like, I feel like I'm gonna flex here for a sec, but just like as like a turntable open format DJ, like I don't need cue points. Like it's very useful and very awesome.
I like having the cue points.
I like it, but I'm just saying for house music at least, like I don't even need to use Rekordbox. I just put my song on my drive and I can just like beat match it and like do it, and like that's why I love being able to like use the USB. Like I can just throw a song on it really quick. I don't need to set like, but that's the cool part with the Beatsource thing. Really was like, wow, like I can actually have this data tracked. People are actually getting recognized for it. They're, like the number is going to be there, but right. But to kind of like go back to your Spotify question, just more of like the streaming thing. Yeah. There are companies that really do trick people into thinking like, hey, we'll get you real good engagement and views, and they're not. Some are good, some are bad. You really got to do your homework.
But there are reputable ones that can get you genuine placement.
You do have to pay for some of it.
Want to be.
You do have to pay. I mean, like that's like without a question. Like I can't say that's not like you're just going to get in the playlist.
People pay PR. People pay every single industry for every entertainment thing.
I will shout out Playlist Supply again. One of my really good friends runs it, started it, and a lot of major labels work with this company. You just pay a monthly fee, and then you can type in keywords, you can type in all the, and that's actually been really helpful for me finding like smaller playlisting to get like, that's where you get, I think, the fan core engagement, and also people just like listening to your music is like, how do you get it on all these playlists that like might have like a couple thousand followers, but it plays all the music you would want to be associated with. Right. And that, you can see like those get streams still, and it's no, there's certain playlists I love having, you know, I'm just like, I'll pop that on because whoever curates it, I know they have good taste for the most part. I mean, dude, if you have a few hundred likes on a Spotify playlist, you're generating thousands of streams like off that playlist. And like that's useful. And imagine like there's 60,000 songs a day coming out published. Oh my God. And that was kind of my other point is these record labels, as much as like I'm signed to one, and I think it's never hating on record label stuff at all, because I think it's all about experience and knowing how to navigate this stuff. Just these companies aren't really caring about how much they're making off new music, because 60 to 80% of their income is based off of old catalog, and we know that for a fact. Yeah. So their bottom line isn't really being messed up by new artists, and so they're making a deal. Yeah, that's why they're signing the Beatles on Apple TV or Disney Plus and getting $1 billion or something. Exactly. They don't care. I mean, that's why like, and everyone's selling their old their catalogs. That's nuts. Like that's Bob a whole Dylan other and everybody. I mean, that's a whole other game. And like Universal going public on the stock market. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the business stuff that's happened just over the past year during the pandemic. Hypnosis as well. If you know Hypnosis song fund, like HIPGNOSIS or something. Yeah, they're just like they bought up some indie publishers. It's like a big company that's like does tons of different stuff. Okay. But that's like the future, in my opinion, is where you have these companies that end up going public that don't need to like. I think it's a good thing in some ways. Like when some of these bigger companies go public, the only bad part is they're trying to make board members and money, and like you can't constantly just be improving sales every like it's art. Like sometimes it's going to be dead, but
right.
That's the one negative. But the positive is
they're
that
not used to that in business. They're like numbers down, fire people.
Exactly,
and it's like no, like this is art. It's going to go up and down, and you have to have room.
That's why you got to try to own your stuff as much as possible, or know how to use the company to your advantage. And you know, they're taking advantage of you. So why wouldn't you take advantage of the services they're offering you? Not a bad way. That's just business. So it's like, but yeah, it's streaming. It's all about timing. It's a numbers game. It's just content, and unfortunately we're in a content time, and that's why I make so much social content. That's why I do so much like everything, because like sometimes you might, I mean, dude, you have the funniest videos of the mag life, and there are tons of people that I'm sure are fans of you because they saw that, and then now oh wow, he's a great DJ, and like this is awesome, but like but like that's just like part of your calling card is like your personality. And I think
you do a bunch of hilarious stuff on yours too, and then also you were doing like those Friday flips where you were remixing songs that were I play some of those that you've made, but yeah, you have to just do different experimental things to keep being out there, I guess, you know, and doing that stuff. And then what do you see? Where do you see things going? You know, because we're talking about all this futuristic stuff and everybody's so into NFTs and the metaverse and all these things. Where do you see things going as far as artists, producers, DJs, or music people putting out music in the future, and what the opportunities will be? Yeah.
You know, I think there's like a couple parts to it. One, we're always going to have, I think it's just less now because of like we're going to have always a few people every year. It's always going to be a few Billie Eilish's or Olivia Rodrigo's, you know, or who's the new, like NBA Youngboy, honestly, was one of them like 2 years ago. Yeah. And I would say we're always going to see that where people are just artists and they just go astronomically huge. Yeah. Mind you, how much is that is like that marketing money being shoveled into somebody versus not? Like, I don't know, because honestly, like once you have enough money, like you can make anything work. Like I've seen it. I've seen the back end of some big artists, some big songs I've been a part of, and how much marketing money has been put into that. Like that, whatever. You can tell that money gets put into stuff. But I always see that's going to always be a thing no matter what. Mm-hmm. But what I do think is happening now is like I feel like this is probably a term in the like metaverse NFT world, but like it's really like going to turn into like a creator economy where it's just like all creatives doing things, like myself, where like I do video, I do music, I act, I do all these different small like pieces, I do whatever. And that all goes towards like me being a creative and creator and branding specialist or whatever you want to end up calling me at the end of the day. Like obviously I'm a music producer and songwriter, but like I think the way that technology is moving is making it like a lot more accessible for everyone to do a lot of different things. Like the guy who does video here also makes music and videoing this podcast. And like, that's a very useful skill to have in order to like move forward as a music person. Right. So same thing with being a songwriter. Like I think songwriters, and we're seeing this more now, are turning into more managers as well. And, you know, like doing multiple things where they're like, oh, wow, like I don't need to rely on all these other people or things to get this stuff done. Like just using my skills or what I want to do and using that to like help uplift whatever you're trying to do. That's what I see is happening in like entertainment per se. Like music, I think house music is completely like just doing the thing it was doing in the late 90s, early 2000s right now, where it's like having the underground is being super celebrated and becoming popular. And then it's probably gonna have another big boom again. But, you know, electronic music I see is like only getting even more and more popular. Right. And honestly, I'm seeing like straight middle of the road pop getting just completely like demolished right now. like nobody cares. Like you're seeing Jason Derulo's like like doing this like TikTok dance, and like I love Jason Derulo. I think Jason's dope, but like he's just like also like here I'm also hanging out with 14-year-olds, and like I don't know. Is that kind of creepy? Right? It's kind of creepy to me. I don't know why.
It's,
I hang out with young kids, by the way. I okay, not like that, but still like, but like I work with them. You know what I mean? And it's like I just think there's but again, it's kind of like at the same time, you could say the same thing about Juicy J. Juicy J said he's gotten rich 3 times, and he's been around the youth for 30 years. And who knows how old this guy is? You know what I mean? And it's like
he's 100.
Yeah, he's literally like 100. Like in music and entertainment, this guy's 100 years old. Like he's a dinosaur, and he's awesome. He kills it, and he's still killing it right now.
Right.
And so we're always gonna see like that stuff prevail. But I think we're morphing more into like people, like the multifaceted people are gonna start to like take over a bit more, because we're seeing this with NFTs. Like there's so many amazing digital artists and people that like don't make traditional artwork, you want to say, and it's 3-dimensional, and there's things attached to it. And I just think like everyone's figuring out a way to monetize everything like now because you can, and I think you should. Like that's why I think that like monetizing our networks, like what a DAO is, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
I think
that's what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
That's
where I see it
agree.
going.
I mean, it's weird. The crypto thing is weird because everything is getting turned into a business and monetized even way more than before. Because it used to be like, hey, I just want to have a hobby. And now it's like, you have to monetize your hobby. You have to monetize everything. It's like, oh my God. But at the same time, all these companies were monetizing it while we were doing it for free. So I guess it's a response to that. Like, well, wait, we want to be a part of all this extra money you guys are generating and making, you know? And
well, why wouldn't you? I mean, I agree. Think about it, because like, I mean, if you saw that documentary, Social Dilemma, like these companies are literally treating us like stocks and trading our future's attention based off of clicks and Facebook and Instagram, you know, whatever, same company, but like all these TikTok, everyone's benefiting from our content. Like they're making money hand over fist every time you post, even if it's you with your child. Like they're making money off that. And that's to me like insane, and that makes no sense. Like why should even if that's why I kind of stopped.
We should all own part of it in a way. Like that's what the whole crypto and DAO and all that stuff. And I do see a room for that. We were talking about before about DJs being together in that kind of world. And
I think it's important that everybody stays connected. Mind you, I'm not somebody that's here promoting crypto or NFT stuff. Like I'm not financially involved.
Me too. I'm just
in it,
interested in it, and I
think it's the future.
What could be done and what has been done.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. I mean, I definitely think it's the future, but like in terms of like the whole, I think we're going to see a lot more of the underground celebrated, a lot more of the little guy or little girl being celebrated, like championed, all the underdogs. Like I think like it's literally there's never been a time more for that than right now. Like for everyone that needs to do that. So or needs to be discovered. That's like, to me, I think the most beautiful part I'm seeing. Mind you, financially, like I think we're in the worst time ever making money in music, like in creative stuff, like in general, like everybody's being shafted. But
even the NFT stuff is weird because I do think there's potential in it, but it's like some people will make $12 million and some person just makes $12. You know, just like anything else, like it's all being figured out. You know?
Yeah, I can't buy into this. I'm not gonna say names of anybody but I am shady. But I'm gonna say that. Can you guys stop saying this whole thing's for everyone?
This will revolutionize every single thing, and everyone will be affected. It's like
dude, you just have $1 billion in monopoly money, and like you can't, like you don't even own a house. Like literally, like own a house first, and then come and talk to me. Use your monopoly money on that. Like I'm not saying it's fake, and I believe in it again, but you like what do you own this picture or this pixelated punk thing, like whatever it is, and like I'm not saying it's bad. I'm into art, like cool, just like cool story, bro. It's like somebody coming up to me and being like with the Bored Apes, it's like somebody described it to me as like having a Rolex. And I said, okay, I literally don't care if you own a Rolex. Like, that's cool for the one moment I see it, but like that's how much it's worth. You know, these things are worth like, and that's great. You're spending that, but like, why didn't you take out that $70,000 in ETH that you made and put a down payment on a home that will pay you passive income? And mind you, we don't need to get into finance because like I'm not a finance expert in any means, but I'm just like, there's some disconnect with that.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I understand what you're saying. I think that you know, it's so complex and it's a big long thing, but that basically like a lot of the Bored Ape CryptoPunk thing probably was born out of the fact that people wanted to show that there was going to be a way to utilize this funny money. You know, then it got used and it became something. Then people that didn't understand it are like, wait a second, you guys are making real money and you're cool if you have this? I'm going to do it too. So now it's heading into the casual consumer luxury goods buyer world where before it was sort of tech people showing, look, I can use the money that we made and it works. Our concept is working. You know, it was almost like how when Blau's album came out, like these big crypto whale people wanted to show that the concept was going to work. No, it didn't matter how much if it was overpaying, you know. And then it's evolving now into this whole thing, and then everybody has their own takes on it, and it's crazy.
Yeah, and I love this stuff though. Like,
Me too.
I'm involved
I'm
on the
interested.
creative side, and I think it's like super awesome. I just like want there to be more accessibility to people that can't afford to spend $8,000 to get in a DAO, or like or like their friend is getting added into a group, and they're, you know, I feel like there's a lot of nepotism, and it's like very closed off. But then once you're in this crew, everybody's super awesome, and I've been lucky to like be involved in crews and different people that are in that space that like you know, respect me as a creative, so they're like, oh, he's cool, like we can talk to him about this, versus like I've seen the way like they've also treated other people that might not like be as versed,
a benefit to them or something.
And I just I'm like, I don't know, I feel the same way about music, right? Like everybody always goes like, I'm doing this for everything, and like this is for the culture, and like, mind you, I make music for culture and I want to improve. That's a goal of mine, but that's an atom goal. That's like that's just for me. Like stop freaking acting like this is gonna better everyone's life because you sold a Bored Ape. The technology's better for everybody, but not you spending $70,000 degenerately just on a picture, or to own the photo, or, you know, not to minimize it. Don't no one come at me and say, oh, it's not just a photo, or it's not just a thing.
No,
like,
we understand the value and why there is value, and how cool it is to be owning a digital, being able to prove digital ownership.
And
the smart contracts and being able to, you know, put in code what you want to happen in the future, and that's all very. Great. Yeah.
I can confidently say I'm not allowed to really like say what projects I'm involved with in the crypto space or metaverse space, but I can say that the business is so much chiller. Like, the business dealings are so much chiller, and like, I'm not making money off of my net. I'm making money off gross, and I'm getting paid to just somebody, instead of somebody saying, here, we're going to pay you $10,000, $15,000 for a song on this X record label with X artist, but 50% or 100% of it is recoupable against you.
Right.
And I made the whole track and recorded it and mixed it and what fees are you recouping? You just uploaded it to the distributor and they put it on the DSP. Like, you know, instead it's like, here's your flat rate. We're not going to freaking lie to you and send you fake bank statements, which I've gotten from like the biggest companies before. I've caught them faking stuff. I'm like auditing people, like major billion dollar companies like are shafting people like me who it's like a couple $1,000. It's not a lot. Like,
and that's why this technology is coming out, because you don't need the lawyer or the auditor or the person. You have it all built into the smart contract, and then you can see it, and it just does what it does, and everybody can see it.
I can see exactly how much it made. I can, like, everyone boasts about it. Like, they want to talk that they sold it.
Right.
And that's great. And I get to see that, and I make residual income on that indefinitely, forever.
Where does this? Are you allowed to say where this music will go or be? Or?
It's gonna be in the metaverse. I don't want to
like a metaverse.
A metaverse.
Because there's tons of them, right?
It's for an NFT collection or collectible thing, but then it's like more than that. Like it's part of one of those collections,
right?
And it's turning into like these artists, these metaverse artists, and it's really cool, I think. And really creative, and like the opportunities I know, and like the ideas are so cool and endless and like interactive, and like just like, whoa, like this is so fun. Like it's just fun. Like that's what I love about it. Is like
totally. That's what attracted me was the fun, curiosity, fun. Yeah, all that.
So that stuff that I'm involved in is really cool. And yeah, they just want me to make them like whatever. Like they're no one's like searching for commerciability.
Yeah.
Like they're just searching for like, do we like this? Do we want to put this out? Does this represent us? And that's what
great.
Art should be about. Art. Yeah. That's art. Like I don't care how much money's in it, and like I was crapping on it a second ago. Like that's awesome. Like that's the coolest part to me is like everybody's just like trying to do dope shit. Mind you, now you have these tech bros all involved in it and like making them pseudo art collectors. But isn't that what rich people are anyways? Like pseudo intellectuals. That's always gonna happen. Like, so it's like whatever.
Right. If they have the money to get into that scene, then they are quote unquote that.
But I'm seeing like hit songwriters. Good friend of mine, Gino the Ghost. He's written numerous #1 hits, and he's like I'm just writing music that I want to write and work with artists I want to write. Other than that, I'm like doing NFT world, and everyone should go and check him out. I think he's like a great great person to see, like who navigates their own business, but then also like got involved in the metaverse and NFTs. And
what's a good way for people listening that do produce or DJ or do something that would want to get involved, or did it just kind of come to you through contacts or something?
Both. It came through contacts and Twitter. I'm not a personal like Discord person. Like I just don't have the mental capacity to like sit in forum chat rooms. Like I just don't do it. Yeah. But Discord, Twitter, follow that dude Cooper Turley or Koopa Troopa. Like he's like the guy who talks about everything. And then I would also like follow just your favorite artists or people that you see are like getting involved and just like go down the rabbit hole. Another friend of mine who's like I would say on the lower side of the totem pole when it comes to like if we're talking about like Cooper, someone to follow, my friend Goshfather. He's another so producer. Yeah, he's super funny, but he's also like super involved in it, and he works in the tech world as well. So he's really knowledgeable for like baseline.
So I'm making the tutorial videos. Like. Yeah,
he's great. And then same with Doing Good HQ. Doing DOING GUD. They're a NFT marketplace and company that some good friends of mine started, and they're on Twitter, Discord, whatever they're up to. But they're something that they do a lot of cool stuff, and whoever's in their network, I would follow.
Right. Found it. All right, I'm following them. I follow the other people already.
Cool. Yeah. My friend who's the art curator there, I've known since Jewish Summer Camp, Kyle Gordon.
Oh, amazing.
He's one of the like.
Yeah, I want to get more into making beats. I mean, I've been trying to do some NFT projects myself and making a lot of beats in my house, but I want to do more with DJing in there and making beats for stuff and collaborating with artists and just doing cool art stuff that I like, that I'm just making for the fun of it. That could lead to other cool things.
I think you got it. I mean, you've done it already, actually. Like I've seen you do it for years. Like before this stuff, like you were always like doing just music and pairing it in certain ways, or like even I don't know. I just feel like there's such room for so many people that do cool shit and unique.
Trying to figure out the best way to what I can add, and bring in there.
Yeah, 100%.
Dope. Well, metaverse talks. Well, shit. I mean, we've been talking for a minute. Is there any things you want to promote or talk about, or advice for people, or things you think we forgot?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say two things.
Yeah.
Okay. First thing, just like to cap, just like all music, entertainment, everything. My biggest advice, and mind you, I'm like totally still learning. I'm still like like going through this journey and everything.
Right.
But you don't know a bad deal until you experience a bad deal. And you don't know when like something is good for you when it ends up turning out to be bad, or vice versa.
Right.
And like with everything that I've said and all the experiences that I've had, and I'm sure there's like tons of things I didn't talk about, but like that's like probably like my biggest advice for anybody, and just like doing numbers, like whatever that means to you, and you can put numbers up on the board. That's it.
Right.
Make as much music as possible, or if it's NFTs, or if it's DJing, like DJ as many parties as you can. You shouldn't, like, the money will happen. I know it will, because it's happened to me where like I've been broke like 3 times already, and I'm 26 years old and done, open format career. Then I had another career in bee's knees, and then I was tour DJing, and then now I'm doing this, and then I've been producing and writing for people. Like this stuff doesn't, like,
right.
The hurdles in the mountains don't get like easier. It just never does. And I know me and you, from having talks like about this stuff, like you feel the same way. I know that.
I do.
So it's just doing as much as you can and doing your best is like the most important part. But to promote anything, I got a remix pack coming out for the EP on December 17th.
Oh, dope.
So that will be really awesome, from Nico the Kid, Lefty, and Clavette.
Amazing.
It's going to be super awesome. I'm really excited about it. And then I just have some more music videos and songs coming out. Next year is like, I don't want to, without giving away too much of like what's going to happen for me, but I'm definitely, we're going to the club. We'll put it that way.
Okay.
We're going to the club,
All right,
and we're taking it there. I'm really excited for the next round of music that I'm putting out, and also just the artists I'm working with. I'm working with some cool indie artists. I'm working with some like bigger artists, and all genres, all languages. Portuguese, Spanish, English, like tons of different stuff. So like I'm really excited on the styles of music I've been working on, and just follow me wherever you can find me. And
where do they find you?
At Novador, Novodor. Just like pretty much anything online. Yeah, maybe TikTok. It's like at Novador 8. I don't know why, but I couldn't get Novodor. Maybe I locked myself out of the account. I don't know.
I know I can't get the DJ Spider spelled DJ Spider on TikTok too, but
is
there
yours
seems
Y?
like there's nobody. No, it's DEEJAY SPIDER.
Oh, okay.
But I can't. I try to get the other one, but I can't get the. I don't know who's on it. It's so hard to like figure it out,
But yeah, just follow me anywhere. I mean, I got always tons of stuff I'm posting all the time. Like my dad yesterday. Like,
that was great. I reposted it.
Thank you. Yeah, my dad loves that video for some reason, even though I'm always like, when the Viagra be hitting. Like,
he's out there. Dancing.
Oh yeah, there was like a girl kind of like in the background of that video.
Yeah.
And like he was like totally like talking her up. She's like this young woman, and like my dad thinks he's like 20 years old. It's awesome. It's great.
That's incredible.
But yeah, other than that, this was awesome. Like, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
And everybody go check out his music. I promise you will like it. You'll at least find some stuff you like in there. I know.
I hope so.
Yes, I think you will.
More music coming next year, I promise. So,
yes, more music coming from Novodor. And man, thanks for coming on. I'm so glad we got to do this.
Thank you, man. I'm very honored I was asked. So thank you. Thank you.
I'm glad we made it happen. So all right, I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming in.
Drop the bass. Drop the bass.
Thank you.
Peace. All right, thank you, Novodor, for coming on the show. That was so much fun. Great getting to catch up with you and see you in person. Thank you guys, the Beat Sorcerers, for listening. As you know, this is available on every platform there is. If you want to watch it on YouTube, you want to listen to it on Spotify or Apple or anywhere you get your podcasts, tune in. And make sure you hit me on Instagram at DJ SPIDER. And tune in next week. The 20 podcast is produced by Beatsource. Join us next week for more interviews as we discuss music that matters to DJs. I'm DJ Spider signing off. Peace.